Massive shout out to our sponsors, Solar City. Without them, the podcast wouldn't be possible.
For tailored installs, site visits by experts, not salesmen, don't come to the Two Diddies, go to Solar City Scotland.
Massive thank you to our sponsors, Arc Accountancy. If you're someone that's a sole trader or runs a limited company and are looking for an accountant, these are your guys.
They handle the numbers, you handle the business. Contact Arc Accountancy. Thanks so much for believing in the Diddies. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Two Diddies. I'm your host, Stephen.
And I'm Ross. And on today's show, we've got powerlifting world and European champion, jiu-jitsu sensation, Mark Macqueen. How are we, Mark?
I'm very good, thanks for having me.
Been a pleasure. So how's life in that?
Things are really good.
Aye.
Yeah. Just trading away.
If you can just introduce yourself and tell us a wee bit about yourself, in case the viewers don't know what is it you do and why we have you on.
So obviously I'm Mark. I used to be a powerlifter. I used to be a powerlifter for Team GB. And then about 7 years ago, coming on 7 years ago, I kind of stopped competing in powerlifting, and then I started doing jiu-jitsu just recreationally, just for some fun. And then it's ruined my life, and here I am.
We know each other, sadly, don't we?
Unfortunately.
Sadly, aye.
Me and Mark were best friends from childhood.
Where?
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 Sorry. He's still at the table.
Still are. Even though he never invited me to his wedding. I know, it's disgusting.
Nobody got invited.
I know, he didn't even invite his mum and dad.
No.
He did last minute.
They did.
Last minute.
That's usually the first invite. You know what I mean?
I think it's because Gav told you to. That was what Gav told me.
No. We didn't want anybody to come because we don't like any of you.
Straight to the point there.
We don't like any of you. No,
know,
we originally wanted to just go away somewhere and elope, just the two of us, and then that was becoming a bit complicated. So we're like, we'll just go through to Edinburgh, just the two of us, and we'll just do it.
Yeah.
And then I was in America, and Rachel was back here, and she went dress shopping with my mum and her mum. And the two of them just wangled their way in, basically.
Set them off. But
wangled their way into their kid's wedding.
I know.
And poor Rachel's too nice to say no, and I wasn't there to tell them to fuck off.
Honestly, I wish I was there to see you tell her to fuck off as well.
I guess you actually would have.
So I came back from America, and then our parents and immediate family
how that was actually meant to go was we were meant to say congratulations on your recent marriage. But that changed a wee bit after your huddle to me. Anyway, so we're just going to go back a wee bit to childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a bit of a mad start to life with an incident at a quarry and an incident with a car. If you could elaborate a wee bit on this.
Yeah. So when I was I seven?
7 years
old?
Must have been about 7.
I think I was 7 years old.
I thought you were asking me.
I've not got a great memory. I was 7 years old.
No wonder.
And we went up to Bearsdown Quarry, and I think we actually went relatively regularly. I mean, we just throw stones off the top of the quarry, stuff like just
jump off it.
Just being 7-year-olds. And then I remember we had one incident that was quite scary. So we'd climb down a wee bit, and then we were almost stuck on the cliff and couldn't get back up, but we did get back up. And then the next time we went to the highest point, if that makes sense. And I think I don't really remember, but from what I've been told, I went to the edge,
of course, and
was throwing stones off, and because it's a quarry, the edge just gave way. And I fell off a 30-foot cliff, basically.
Holy shit. I didn't know it was 30 foot.
It was high. Well, it gets higher every time you speak.
I was trying to think what a quarry was.
It's like the big thing with the sand and that in it.
I got up to 60 foot, but I brought it back down.
And then what injuries did you obtain? You had a stone go through your neck and out your mouth or something.
So considering it was a 30 foot, considering it was a 30-foot drop, actually the injuries in hindsight weren't actually
that bad.
Considering I should have died.
It was in the paper. I remember on school. I remember on school they brought it up in the paper telling us to stay away from quarries because he'd fallen off on.
Stay away from quarries. You'll be facing the fucking poster boy for quarries. Stone digging it.
So I broke my jaw, and I broke my jaw I think in quite a few places, but I broke the growth plate in one side of my jaw. So they were quite worried because they thought that the other side of my jaw would grow normally and that side wouldn't grow, and I'd end up looking like Quagmire.
Glad that didn't happen.
They've done it worse.
And I knocked all of my baby teeth out, and then I had molars which were adult teeth, but I knocked them back into my jaw, if that makes sense. So they went back in, and then a stone or like a rock, I'm not sure, went through like under my neck, like under my chin.
You can actually see the scar, can't you?
Yeah, I've actually got a very big.
Aye.
It's like very big. It's probably like 3-4 inches, and it like the stone basically went underneath like my jawbone here, and it came all the way out my mouth. Like they picked it out my mouth.
Mental.
So yeah, but I like surprised. I landed on my feet, but like my legs were fine. Like my arms, I was honestly
I was going
okay.
to ask about like your legs now. What the hell? Just
I don't know.
I don't know.
But like I got up and I had to walk from there to the Windy Hill. This is the funny story. This is the funny part. So I got up and I had to walk from there to the Windy Hill Golf Club, which is like, I don't know how many, maybe a mile, 2 miles.
Something like that.
But like you had to climb over a fence and you had to jump over a burn to get into the quarry. So I had to like jump over the fence, jump over the burn. And I remember I'd like walked onto the golf course and this poor guy was out on like a Sunday morning. And I think maybe it's at the 15th hole up there, something like that. And the poor guy generally just stopped and like dropped his club and just looked at me and was like, because obviously my whole face was blood.
Of course, aye. And you're 7-year-old.
It was
Need stones coming out your mouth.
This is the funny part. So we go down to the golf club, or he takes me to the golf club, and like nobody really knows what to do. And then one person there knew my dad. I don't remember who it was. He's like, I'll call him, but it was an old firm game.
Oh,
so they were calling the house, so my dad just refused to answer the phone.
That is classic, man.
That sounds like your dad.
But then eventually they kept calling, so he answered the phone furious. They said, look, your son
is falling off a quarry.
You need to come. So he came, he picked me up, and then he then picked my mum up from her friend's house, and the two of them drove me into hospital. I didn't get an ambulance.
Mental.
They were furious.
But you got an ambulance when you get knocked down by a car, didn't you?
Yeah. So was that 2 years later, 3 years later?
Something like that. I remember coming home from school and somebody telling me. I remember running up there and the ambulance was there when I got there. And
it was at a traffic lights as well.
Aye.
I think I just pressed it. And I just couldn't. I was just being stupid. I couldn't be arsed waiting, and I just stepped out, and the car just.
Aye, that's quite a fast road as well. I'm sure they changed the speed limit on that road, did they? I used to actually think they put the lights in because of that. But
no, the lights were there.
Lights were already there.
Yeah, I genuinely remember pressing the button, and then I remember like getting hit. It's probably the most horrible feeling ever, and it's not what you think. It's now like if you're like standing and someone comes up and like pushes your back from behind.
Yeah,
you're not expecting that like judder feeling you get. It was like that, but like times like it was. That
was like similar to that one playing Steadfast when the guy fly kicked me in the back. That's a similar feeling.
It's genuinely and it's the problem was like, and I couldn't like compute what actually. I didn't realise I hit by a car. I didn't understand what was going on. It was entirely my own fault, but yeah.
Yeah, that's mental.
So did any of these injuries, obviously, when you were younger, what kind of sports did you play growing up?
So I played rugby and football until I was about 8, and then I think or 9, and then I stopped rugby and I kept playing football.
Yeah,
and then I did football and boxing.
Did any of the injuries like? Do anything to do on
honestly,
that?
No. Honestly, the only they thought my jaw wouldn't grow, so I had to keep getting like X-rays from up until I was like 16. But then they realised like my jaw's grown fine. My right shoulder, honestly, no. So when I got by the car, I dislocated it and I broke the collarbone. And like to this day, like sometimes I'll get a little bit of pain like in my underneath my collarbone. But honestly, no, genuinely completely fine. Which doesn't make sense. I think it's just because I was probably so young.
I've got shin splints and I'm greeting about it.
I know.
I know, mate. Fucking he's just sitting chilling.
He's actually came out bigger. I know, because even when you were younger, but you weren't always, obviously you're a big guy now. No. Like both, like you weren't very big.
No, so I think like up until, because I remember when I was like young, so like maybe up until I was like 10 years old, I was like, I don't think I was particularly big, but I was very, like I was stronger.
Stocky. You were stocky.
And I remember like my brother, so Gavin, he's 2.5 years older than me, 2 years older than me. I used to arm wrestle like him and his friends, and I'd always win. And I remember even finding it like pretty easy. But then when we got to like first year in school, everyone started hitting puberty and like growing, and like I was so late to develop, so I was tiny until I like started to develop, which was pretty late, like 16 maybe.
Yeah.
So from the age of like 10 to 16, I was really small, and then I think when I was 16, it just then I started to develop, and then
yeah. That's kind of when you started to weight train when you were about 16, was it?
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that? Do you think that was maybe a wee catalyst?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe because I think when I started lifting weights, I also started like eating a lot more food and trying to like get bigger, so that possibly could have helped. But I'm not too sure. Gavin was the same. He was really late to develop.
Yeah, I remember Gav being really small.
I think it's just genetic. It's just
Yeah.
genetics.
It's just
It's
genetics.
all when you grow.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting.
You're still-
My next fucking so I think it's gone, man. But even that, back in school, can you tell us a wee bit about this man right here? I only met him last year, so tell me about
You don't want to
No,
know.
no.
No
A
one,
younger
no,
Diddy.
no one liked either of us in
No.
school. And
I
I don't blame them.
Not
to be
just in
fair.
school.
Well, no one,
No, we were, me and you were just, me and Mark together were just bad. Like,
Chaotic.
chaotic. Like, we weren't bad people. We were
weren't-
just,
No, you're children at
we
the
were
time, but
just-
you're just fucking
yeah,
we were just
menaces, man.
crazy.
we were never bad in terms of like, you know, everything was pretty harmless.
Yeah.
Aye.
We were just pains in the arse,
Oh.
basically.
Yeah, that essentially.
We just annoyed everybody.
Yeah.
That's the truth. We just
And
annoyed
when
everybody.
we played football together, me and you were just like two. Being from
Competitive.
Bearsden, you do. We played with a lot of people who were a lot less, a lot calmer, maybe mollycoddle compared to me and you. And me and you were just crazy in the park together, weren't we? We were just bonkers.
I would love to just get a wee photo and get it posted up if there's any photos they used to when you were younger. We'll try and see.
There are
Aye,
photos.
there is,
There's
definitely.
photos
We'll get
from.
one
Do
today,
you remember when we won the? Do you remember when Bo Jaffrey won the football cup thing?
Aye.
There's a photo of me and you from that.
I
It's on
scored the winning
Facebook.
penalty.
You did?
I remember I was running up there and all that on the,
Aye.
on the mums and dads. Aye,
That's what it's
mental.
about though. But obviously growing up, was there anyone that had an impact on you to where you're today, where you're powerlifting, your
In terms of that made me want to do powerlifting.
made you want to
stuff.
do it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say that, or in general of how your mindset turned out, like
Yeah,
somebody
aye,
who pushed
an
you to be
influence on you,
a
aye.
level that you came to.
Yeah, I think so. Who actually got me into powerlifting? So I tore my ACL and I had to get my knee reconstructed when I was 16 from football.
You did, I forgot
Add
about
that to the
Fuck, I
list,
didn't know.
fuck's sake, man. This
I
is
actually
just
forgot.
injuries,
I was
by the
playing
way.
that game, but I forgot about that.
from football. So we were playing, and that wasn't a cup game. That was like
Yeah.
in a tournament. Sorry, and I fully ruptured my ACL, and I had to, and I think I tore my cartilage as well. But I had to get a full knee reconstruction. And then the physio that they gave me was actually amazing. And remember, she just basically said that you've got to get stronger. Like you've got to build up the strength in your legs. Go to a gym and start doing that. And then that was basically the end of it. And I got really into lifting weights. And then I started, just like looking online and just watch people do it. And there was a guy called Pete Rubish who was from America, and he was a powerlifter. And I just thought he was like the coolest guy ever. And I just like, I want to
You
be
do
like
cling
him.
on to someone though when you
Yeah.
first get into it, like you think he's the dog's bollocks, didn't you? You just
No,
kinda
100%.
do everything they're doing.
I remember when we first started powerlifting, so I started weight training with Mark, and we were training out of your mum and dad's garage, remember?
I do.
And we had the squat rack in there and all the metal plates, and then at this point, he was taking it pretty serious.
We trained at the Islander together, and then
Yeah.
we went to LA Fitness together.
Yeah.
And then we moved from there to my mum and dad's garage. Yeah.
But him and the other boy Robbie, who we were doing it with, for like deadlifting like 300
of
kilos and all that.
I can see
in his dad's garage, and we're there, oh, Mark! All the noise of the weight slamming.
There's a
and all that.
shame. We put cracks up the garage.
The infrastructure.
Foundation, basically, yeah.
The garage joins like onto the kitchen. There's like cracks started to appear all the way up the wall into the kitchen.
But you
So we
took
got-
it really serious. Like,
Yeah, we
they,
did.
like see when they were doing like the lifting and stuff, that was like the smelling salts and
Oh,
smashing each other in the
Oh,
back. All this screaming.
you just sitting
I was
in the
just sitting in the
corner,
corner, I was shaking that shit and
They'll
down.
just pick you up, they'll arms up. Just get it.
I remember one time I sprinkled the chalk on Robbie's face while he was benching.
That was Nelly Fitness. That's the only time. That was
was
Nelly
it?
Fitness. Yeah,
Was it?
it's the
Aye.
only time I've ever seen Robbie angry. It's
Aye,
a shame.
yeah.
Poor Robbie. He's the nicest person you ever meet. But he was really strong. He was stronger than me back then.
But he just never-
He was doing floor. I think it was floor press or bench press. I can't remember. And it was a hard set, and Ross went up and just like sprinkled chalk over his face, and Robbie almost like dropped on himself. I've never seen him I've never seen him. I've
no.
never seen him angry ever again. But that's the only time I've ever seen him
Yeah.
angry. Fair enough to be
No,
honest.
that was fair enough to be fair.
I know,
Aye.
I would do the exact same.
So with you,
I'm talking about doing the job.
you're disgusting. So with your powerlifting, can you tell us a bit about like what kind of awards, your heaviest bench, heaviest deadlift, these kind of things?
So the titles that I won, I can't remember exactly. It was 6 to 8 Scottish titles. It was 4 British titles, Commonwealth title, European title, and World Champion title. Lifts wise, my biggest numbers in competition were a 365 kilo squat, I think it was a 212.5 kilo bench press, but that was in a competition where I didn't total my highest total, if that makes sense.
Right, okay, yeah.
I deadlifted 347.5 kilos in competition and a 920 kilo total, and that was like raw and drug tested.
He's nearly at ours then. He's close. He's nearly,
Almost,
honestly.
almost.
Wee bit more chalk.
And then when I finished, the best lifts I've ever done, I done a 322.5 kilo squat for 4 reps with 3 reps in the tank.
That's mental.
So that gave me like a 400 kilo estimated max. So I was a lot stronger when I
What is that equivalent of? Like
car,
something
probably,
that's what I was going to try and get.
a racehorse is like 500 kilos.
Jeez, fuck.
That's crazy.
You just got on your back.
Bench press 200 kilos for 3 with 2 reps in the tank, and I deadlifted 330 for 3 reps with 2 reps in the tank.
My tank
So I
would be
think
gone.
my estimated maxes when I stopped was like a 400 kilo squat, 220 bench, and 380 deadlift. I didn't do them, so it doesn't matter. But they're like, if I look back, they were my best lifts.
And what weight were you at that point?
About 151 kilos.
151
What
kilos.
is the heaviest you've got? Is that
Probably
is the
150. I maybe got a little bit heavier, but I didn't weigh myself. But about 151 roughly.
No, that is heavy enough.
Yeah.
I was just trying to outdo you there.
That's mental. That's mental.
But obviously in the gym space, you became a PT as well.
Mm-hmm. So when I was 17, I left school straight after 6th year, done my PT course, became a personal trainer at 17. And like became like a 1-to-1 personal trainer. And then from there, I like kind of very young, to be fair, probably about 19, 2 years later, maybe 20, I started coaching people online. And then, I basically pretty much have exclusively coached people online for like the last 10 years.
The online is kind of the goal, especially in your in industry. You're going to be going away and stuff like that. You can't be doing the 1-to-1, especially your training schedule. What you're training, how many days a week you're training now?
I have 16 sessions, unfortunately.
And how do they break up? What are the 16 sessions?
So Monday to Friday, 2 jiu-jitsu each day. Every day, morning and night. And then today is jiu-jitsu, but like it's like, to be fair, it's technically 1 session, but it's like 2 sessions
in one.
So it's like twice as long as what a normal session would be, if that makes sense. And then I lift weights 3 times, and then I do cardio 1 time.
That's mental. And your cardio is the 10, 500 rows.
In the row, yeah.
Swear by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had you doing them for a while, didn't you? Smashing them with
I mean, obviously, I think it's dependent on
the sport.
If you're like a runner, you've got to run.
Yeah.
But I think like if your sport has a cardio demand, but it doesn't, like your sport isn't like a cardio event, like running, for example. I think the row is really good because, well, one, especially if you're heavier, there's very low, like, if I'm grappling like 12 times a week, there's so much impact from that, and like there's so much impact, and your body's just so fucked from that.
Yeah.
That if I'm doing cardio, if I'm going out running or something, that's just like more
just
impact.
More stress.
Whereas like a rower, there's like 0 impact from it, so I can get like really really hard work in without like beating my body up. I've never done a rowing session and felt worse after it.
Yeah.
Even like on like 10 by 500 meter PBs that like I'm on the floor, like I can barely breathe after it. Like see, after an hour or two, I don't feel bad after it.
Yeah.
And then also what I like about it is it's so repeatable because you can set the rower up to be like universal. You can set the drag factor.
Yeah.
So there's not any variables that you can't control, and then also it's so trackable. it's trackable to like the 0.1 of a second. So it's so easy to progress as well.
Yeah.
So I think the problem is sometimes is that it's not a problem, but I think sometimes you can do such hard work and like make yourself absolutely exhausted, but you can't necessarily track it. So you do it the following week, you're not actually sure if you're just pushing yourself to exhaustion or if you're actually making progress. Whereas in the rower, I can objectively see, like, I am objectively fitter than what I was a year ago.
I think that's probably part of the problem with maybe like high rocks is people just smash sessions out all the time, but they might feel fitter, but they don't necessarily know if they are fitter.
Well, I think that is the thing, and of course, like, with high rocks, for example, like, I understand, like, that is essentially like a circuit almost.
Yeah.
So you've got to actually practice, that's like the sport itself. But I do think you are right, like, you can go and you can generally just absolutely exhaust yourself all the time. But if it's constantly changing and it's constantly different every week, you're not actually that sure if you're making progress or not, because you can't objectively track it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're going to run, you can objectively track if you're getting fitter or not.
Yeah.
If you're on an assault bike, if you're on a row machine, you can objectively see I'm getting fitter. So that's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
That's why you see in High Rocks it is basically I'd say a running sport, and then all the excess stuff
Oh,
that
it's
you can
absolute-
build in that, because people, you're not really doing much different to the other person on the ski. You get to run, that guy's like running 3-minute Ks and you're running 5s.
Yeah.
That's where the minutes are getting added up.
It's absolutely a running sport for sure.
100%, aye.
100%. Sorry, just to touch back on the powerlifting. So, what made you give up the powerlifting in the end? Why did you change your sport?
I hated it by the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hated it. It's weird because I always loved coaching it, and I always loved the sport, but I hated me doing it. I hated it. I'm not actually that convinced now I absolutely love lifting weights. I prefer lifting weights to jiu-jitsu. Like, I still really enjoy doing my lifting sessions. I very rarely enjoy grappling sessions.
That's mad.
But the problem was when powerlifting became so serious that all I cared about was winning a world championship. So you can't, because of how hard you have to work and how obsessive you have to be, and it's, you have to, you ruin it for yourself.
Yeah.
And the problem is that, say, like, you have a great day and you hit a PB, well, it's never enough. Because it's like, well, PB, but it's like, okay, well, that's great, but what about I've got to do more. So you're constantly in this never-ending cycle, and it's also just so stressful as well. And then you win worlds, or I won worlds, or in fact before that, you win the Scottish, you win the British, but it's like it's not really anything to celebrate, because it's like, well, I want to be a world champion, of course I need to be able to win the British. The British should be easy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you win the Europeans, it's like, well, of course I should win the Europeans. If I don't win the Europeans, how am I going to win the worlds?
Yeah.
So you can't actually enjoy. So, well, I never really allowed myself to ever enjoy any step in the process. And then you win worlds, and you think that, like, you're going to win it, and I don't know what I thought, but you just thought that it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and you realise that actually it doesn't fucking mean anything.
But you've always kind of been like that. You never really take a minute to appreciate probably where you are. You're just always on the go for as long as I've known you.
I mean, I remember, like, I won worlds, and it's like it's so overwhelming before you know it. Before I could even, like, felt like I could take a breath, like, you'd won worlds, and I'm back in the apartment in Belarus, and fucking Belarus, with, like, myself, and everything's done. It's finished.
Yeah,
it's finished.
Yeah, there's no
finished from the high, and then
the point you've been on, everything is done, and it's like, then it's like, and then you fly home, and it's like, you realise it doesn't fucking mean anything. It only means something if you actually make it mean something to you.
Yeah.
So I think after that I became, like, really disillusioned with it. But it was my own fault, because, like, in hindsight, like, now I can look back and actually, like, really enjoy it, and I genuinely am, like, really pleased with what I did, and, like, I can look back and be, like, really pleased and happy about it and enjoy it. But, like, back then I never allowed myself to do that. And then you realise, like, well, it's kind of like, what doesn't mean anything. But I'd only ever done powerlifting. My job was I coached, like, I exclusively coached powerlifters. So it's kind of like everything's tied to this. Pretty much all of my friends, apart from you, were a powerlifter. And I mean, even when I say all when I say all of my friends, there was like 3 of them. But you know, I was all So then I'm like, well, what do I do? And then the problem is, as well, is that, and again, I can look back in hindsight and realize, like, I was the one with the problem. The problem is, you bump into someone, and all anyone wants to speak to you back then was, like, about your powerlifting. Like, what are you lifting now? What's your next competition? What are you doing? What's this? And it's like, it's like, I'm just a person too. You could just be like, how are you? Or what have you been up to?
Consumed your life.
But, like, all anyone wants to speak to you about is that. But actually, it's like, I was the one with the problem, and it's people are actually just being really supportive.
And
and
coming
nice.
to a nice place, so when you're like, that's all I want to talk about, they're just thinking you're that dialed in, like, that's all you maybe want to talk about.
Some people definitely want to, like, cling on, for sure.
Of course, aye.
But generally, most people are actually just asking and being nice and showing an interest. But then the problem is that then you kind of view yourself as, like, all I am is a powerlifter. And it's like, well, and I know I hate it. I'm like, what do I do? Because I've not got anything else. And even that's, like, a really selfish and stupid attitude.
Because being a powerlifter is someone else's dream as well.
That's or even, but it's also not true. It's like, I had lots of stuff. I had a mum and a dad and a brother and a sister and friends, and you know.
Yeah, but I suppose see to get to the level you got to, and see, I know firsthand, I know how dedicated you were to that. You probably need to be selfish in an aspect to get to that level.
The only way I can make it like somewhat relatable to like to how much it meant is if someone was to say to me back then, you never win worlds, but you live to 100 and have a family and all that stuff, or you win worlds, but the minute you win worlds, you get taken out the back, and that's you're dead. Well, and I would have thought that's the most stupid question I've ever heard in my life. Of course I want to win worlds. Why would I want to?
That's true.
I'm like, why would I want to live to 100 and never have won? That's just, I'm just like, to me, and to be fair, I still
got that, but
jiu-jitsu, no, but that's the problem, is that it does. That's just kind of who I am, which is still extremely selfish.
Yeah.
But that's the only way I can describe it, is, you know. But the problem is when you have that and then you achieve it, you then realise it doesn't actually mean anything.
Yeah.
But you still achieved your main goal. That's at the end of the day. That's what we're doing every week. That's what you're training for today. All this kind of stuff.
So basically, I became very disillusioned with it. But ironically enough, after winning Worlds is actually when I done my best ever lifting. I moved up a weight class, because when I won Worlds, I won under 120 kilos, and I moved up, and then that's when I totaled the most ever, and I done my best lifting. But I just hated it and didn't enjoy it. And then also as well, I think like at least when I was competing under 120 kilos, you know, like 120 kilos is a lot of body weight, but it's still very manageable and it's not really a big deal. But existing at 150, it just sucks.
Your day-to-day life.
Even like, you know, the amount of food that you have to eat, it consumes everything. You know, all you can think about is your next meal, not because you want it.
You just need it.
But it's like you need it. You know, the food bill, how much you have to eat, existing at that body weight. You don't sleep well, so then you wake up, you're constantly exhausted.
Did you not used to wake up in the middle of the night to eat? Am I talking crap? Did you not do that?
No, I never had to do that. But you know, your bedtime constantly gets pushed back because you're having to cram food in so late.
I remember eating steaks and all that, like
2 in the morning
at night and stuff.
That fucking is basically.
I remember
so you didn't wake up, you just stayed up.
I remember being down. I was living down in Leeds, and it was like, you know, 2 in the morning and I'm sitting eating a steak. You know, to be fair, I still have to do that.
No,
I'm acting as if I don't do that now. Like I still, like last night at 1:30 in the morning, I was eating a steak.
What do you consume in a day?
So back then, I would say I consumed between 7,000 and 10,000 calories every day. But I would say I was probably in the higher end of that. So maybe constantly like, you know, 8 or 9, maybe on a really good day 10. And it's awful, but even having that much food in you feels awful. Now's not so bad, to be fair. Now's between like 4,000 and 5,000.
Yeah,
so it's a lot more manageable, which is still a lot of food.
But you're a big boy.
But honestly, like considering I'm like 123 kilos and I train that much, it's actually not that much.
Yeah,
to be fair,
your expenditure.
Because of how much I spend.
True. That's true.
So now's a lot more manageable, but it's still difficult. You know, like last night, like I was lying in bed with Rachel, with my wife, and I fell asleep at 11 and I woke up at 12:30.
Steak time.
And then I had to go and get a steak. Yeah.
I was going to ask if your calories are that big, how you still eating steaks. And
I made it at 12:30 and it took me like an hour to eat because you're just sitting slogging through a steak.
I remember how long you take to eat, especially when you were doing the powerlifting. Like,
because you hate food.
You would have a meal, he would have his dinner before he came out and then come for an Nando's and get like 2 butterfly chickens and chips or something like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you hate food. I still don't like it that much because you're still constantly having to, but it's a lot better now.
Yeah.
Then how do you go into jiu-jitsu then? Tell us about that.
Yes, so I was down in Leeds and I was there myself and I only knew like a very small group of people and they were all exclusively in that powerlifting gym. When I stopped powerlifting, I didn't want to go to the gym anymore, like that powerlifting gym anymore, because I just didn't want to be around powerlifting, honestly. Like I just hated it. I just absolutely hated it. So I didn't want to be around it. So I joined like a gym. It's still a great gym, but it was just up the road from where I was staying. I just wanted to lose weight because I wanted to lose a lot of weight. Gavin, so my brother, he was living in Australia at the time and he did jiu-jitsu and he was a blue belt. Then we're just thinking like, may as well do something. And honestly as well, like down there, they all had family and they all had jobs and they all went and trained all night. So, you know, Monday to Friday, I'm not going to be seeing these people. So I'm just sitting in a flat myself. And because I worked online, it's like I'm literally in a flat myself. I don't know a single person. And I was stuck on a lease as well. So I was like, I may as well go do something that's like somewhat social. So I started doing jiu-jitsu and I hated jiu-jitsu when I started. I thought it was so weird. So I mean, it still is weird, stupid to be fair. But I thought it was so weird, and I just didn't understand it. But I did it but the club down there was great. Like they were really good. And then I kind of got more and more into it. And then my lease ended. So I think I trained there for 3 months and I moved back up. And then I think I trained for a month more. So I trained for 4 months total, done a competition. And then I'd done that competition. And then I just was kind of hooked after that pretty much.
Yeah, that's mental.
Yeah.
And what do you prefer jiu-jitsu to powerlifting? Like from the start? Like, so when you started powerlifting to start jiu-jitsu?
Good question. I would say they both, so powerlifting back then means as much as jiu-jitsu now. Like I'd say they mean the same, if that makes sense. I say they mean the same. I'd say I find jiu-jitsu probably more enjoyable because, well, I think it's more enjoyable because powerlifting is pretty monotonous.
More of a skill aspect to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's pretty monotonous. Like you're doing a squat, bench and deadlift, and then you're maybe doing a couple of variations and you're doing some accessories. But you're, pretty much exclusively your sport is those three movements. So the skill is those three movements. So you're doing those three movements as often as possible. So it is, I feel like powerlifting maybe felt like more of a slog and a bit more monotonous and a bit more tedious, whereas jiu-jitsu is like there's honestly an infinite amount, and it's in my opinion, I think grappling's probably the highest skilled sport in the world. It's like the amount of the skill that's required is crazy. Not that I've not got that, but I mean I hope to one day. But it's such a high skilled sport, and also as well, even like I'll go to training and inevitably be in a bad mood as always.
He's always in a bad mood.
and like some of these people are like your best pals, so like, even just seeing them, it's just more enjoyable.
Yeah, it's more of a social sport.
Yeah,
I suppose because powerlifting, it's a solo sport.
It's just your sport. Yeah, so I'd say it's more enjoyable. I'd say they mean the same, but it's more enjoyable. But I'd say honestly, I like right now, I like lifting weights is the most enjoyable training that I do. Like I love lifting weights.
Yeah, I would say I'm probably the same.
Yeah, I love lifting weights.
And then mad for jiu-jitsu myself.
And then again, like I don't like. Well, I don't really teach jiu-jitsu, but I don't particularly enjoy teaching jiu-jitsu at all.
But
no, not really. No, but I really enjoy like teaching weights. Or coaching people for weights. Coaching weights, I love that. Yeah.
You're good at that, but that's why
it's
and I think passion for you probably, the coaching side of it.
I'm not sure what I don't know. I just don't particularly enjoy coaching jiu-jitsu. I don't not enjoy it, but it's not. I don't want to do it. Yeah, but I love coaching people doing weights and helping people. Do you feel with
the jiu-jitsu maybe just because you said yourself, you feel as though your actual skill level isn't as elite as where you want it to be? Do you find maybe that's why you don't enjoy coaching as much, or just in general?
No, because I'd say again, I can't really. I don't know how to say this without sounding like an arrogant wanker. Like I don't really. Like yeah, but when I say like my skill level is not like maybe like what I'm comparing that to like who I would view as like like the literal
pinnacle.
Best people in the world, but
yes.
I'm like literally competing against
you
these
are,
people.
Essentially, you are.
Essentially, you are. Medals you just fucking
yeah, I mean, no, that's the thing. So I'm competing against these people, but I don't think I'm quite as skillful as them.
Yeah.
Yet. If that makes sense. So but I'd say compared to the average person.
If you feel like then how are you still competing with them on that highest level? Do you feel just your strength, your brain maybe?
I would say
your knowledge of the sport? Because if you're still up there with them and you're feeling...
I'd say I mean, maybe I'm doing myself a disservice to be fair.
I don't know what I tell you. I'm not telling you.
Yeah, I just maybe say, because I'd say as a general rule, like their whole game, they're probably more skillful, but I'd say like maybe if I'm able to like implement my A game, if that makes sense, and like kind of dictate it a little bit, maybe I'm more skillful with like that A game. Then if you started expanding it out, would be less skillful over more areas than them. So maybe like my A game, maybe I'm of that level skill wise, but then as you start expanding out,
different.
They maybe got B, C, D, E. I
think
can't
the
go that far.
powerlifting helped the jiu-jitsu?
For sure, yeah. I'd say, well, one, like just being just the physicality, like being that strong definitely helps. Anyone that doesn't think like strength and grappling, because jiu-jitsu was originally marketed as like, for a smaller person to beat a bigger person. But like they miss out a huge asterisk, and it's the smaller person would beat a bigger person if the smaller person is so much
Yeah.
better, the bigger person doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
The bigger
yeah.
person is of anywhere close to their skill level, it's going to be,
Yeah.
you know, there's a reason why weight classes exist, for
Yeah.
example. So I say that really helps. And then also I would just say maybe the mentality of being used to competing at a high level and just like having the ability to compete under pressure and stuff. I think there's a lot of people, you know, where you see their ability in the gym and their ability in competition is massively different. You know, like their ability in the gym is sky high, and then on the mat, on
lights.
competition mats, they're significantly worse. Whereas I'd say I'm probably a lot more even.
Just the stage fright in a sense, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what, maybe you stage frightness, maybe it's pressure, just an inability to act under pressure. I don't know.
Sorry,
No, on you go. No.
Yeah,
Just saying, you've also been in the biggest stage in the world. Obviously, you went to Vegas together as well. How did that feel?
We're not together. I went to support.
Of course, but I mean, also going to support and see your mate do.
Yeah, so that's it. So grappling, the biggest organisation in grappling is ADCC. It happens every couple of years, so it's our version of the Olympics. And then you've got different continents. You've got like North American trials, South American trials. You've got like Australasia, you know, which is like all the Asian countries, and Australia and New Zealand. And then you've got European trials, but European trials is European, the Middle East and Africa. So the whole of Africa, the whole of the Middle East and all of Europe are all grouped in. And then you have 2 trials of each one, if that makes sense. So each continent has 2 trials, and then you have to win to get invited to ADCC. So I think it's 8 people qualify from trials, and then 8 people get invited. And the people that they would invite are like previous medalists or previous winners, people that have like been there and medalled or won and don't have to then do the trials again.
Yeah, similar to like in golf. What's that? The Ryder Cup. Like if you've won it, no, is it the Ryder Cup? Was one of the green jacket?
I'm not a big golf man, to be fair.
Clearly never
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Great
If you've won
analogy
the
there,
green
Ross.
jacket before, he's like you get invited regardless.
Aye, just to beef up the bill a wee bit, basically, man.
She'll be something similar.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because I think, you know, if you've been to ADCC and you've medalled or you've won, you shouldn't have to go through the trials again.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
definitely not.
You shouldn't have to.
How did it feel competing in that stage in the
Yeah,
T-Mobile Arena, wasn't it, in Vegas?
It was.
That's
It was
incredible,
it was a T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. It was, yeah. Again, I think I'm not really good at taking stuff in, if I'm honest.
But that's probably a good mindset to treat it like the gym, treat it like a training session kind of thing, just go in with that same mindset.
You're probably the most mentally strong person that I've ever, like in that sense, like you don't actually appreciate the level you've got to, but I feel that's why you've got to where you've got to.
I don't know. I don't. Again, in hindsight, I can't lie. I don't really think about it. Obviously, competing at the T-Mobile Arena is unbelievable. It's amazing, and competing at that level is absolutely amazing. But I will be honest, I'm not really interested in competing at that level. I want to win at that level.
You
know,
I love that.
Like, competing at that level doesn't mean anything to me. Winning at that level means something to me. So I can't lie. Like, it's not. I don't look back at it like, oh, if I'm never going to go to my deathbed and think, oh, I can't think of that. Think of that time I competed and lost at the T-Mobile Arena. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
I know that's
just a loss.
Yeah,
doesn't mean anything really.
What would you say is one thing that to complete that level that you need for like mindset, or like one overriding factor?
I think I just need to keep getting more skillful.
Yeah,
I just need to get better, more skillful. I think. I don't think anyone's stronger than me. I don't think anyone's fitter than me. I don't think anyone's got any better physically than me in any capacity. But there are people that are just more skillful and better. So I think I just need to keep getting more skillful and better. And I think just more exposure to competing at that level too, because it's hard when you compete at that level, when you like touch somebody and you like lock up or you start grappling with somebody that's of that skill level. If you're training at a gym that maybe doesn't have people of that skill level, it's a real shock to feel somebody of that. Even if you're at that skill level, if you're not used to consistently feeling people of that skill level, it's a real shock. If that makes sense.
From feeling it to then.
And you don't really. So I think the like more exposure to that is probably
it's better. And that leads. Sorry, on you go.
No, on you go.
That leads on as to why you're moving to Texas or looking to move to Texas.
Yeah,
you've been invited to a gym there.
Yeah, so I was there for about 5-6 months last year. Me and Rachel were out for the full 90 days, so that's about 13 weeks at the start of the year, and then I went out for a couple of months before ADCC trials, and then I'm going back out for 3 months before ADCC, And then it's just got to get visas and stuff sorted. Then we're going to be moving there, not forever, but just until hopefully win ADCC.
Oh, you will win it. You'll definitely win it. But we've got sponsorships here along the way. You've picked up a few. Obviously, we sponsored you as well.
In Vegas.
In Vegas as well.
Didn't we?
Evil. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Sporting the new pink one as well, here, by the way, if you want to get onto the merch.
I know, we should have brought you extra large there.
Any bed sheets there?
But yeah, my three sponsors are Progress Jiu-Jitsu, so they're an apparel company, so they sponsor me. Strom Sports Nutrition, so they're a supplement company, they sponsor me. And also, to be fair, Rick has also created like a Strom grappling side of it as well. But I'd say Strom are probably the biggest supplement company in Britain.
Yeah,
I mean, they're enormous.
I've got some of their stuff to be fair that you recommended.
Yeah, I mean, it's the supplements they have are phenomenal. It's really good, and then there's a guy called Jeremy Skinner who runs a jiu-jitsu academy called Atomic Dojo. So basically, it's just like online coaching for jiu-jitsu. So he sponsors me as well. So it's the three of them. Yeah.
Do you feel that's really beneficial for what you're trying to do? It helps.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's fantastic.
So you were doing a YouTube channel as well before it was big. You had
YouTube
a long time ago.
A long time ago.
I remember when you started.
What was this? Just your PT stuff?
Yeah. So basically, I started posting. Well, I started posting my lifts, just like for my powerlifting lifts, and then obviously I wanted to do online coaching, so I just started posting videos about training and anything that I could think
you
of.
You talking to the camera, not
yeah,
as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I've not watched one in ages, to be fair.
Oh, I can't.
Years.
I did a lot. I think probably. Yeah,
oh,
I think it will be. We'll need to dig them up.
There's probably like 400 or 500 videos on there.
Is that how many you done? What's that?
A lot. Yeah.
I didn't know it was that
How
many.
long ago was this then?
So I think I started it when I was 18, 19.
Yeah, it must
and
have
then
been.
I think I pretty much stopped entirely when I was maybe 23.
500. I was expecting.
No, I didn't know it was that many either.
I could be wrong, but I think honestly maybe 400 or 500. Yes, I did it before it was cool.
It's cool. And what your thoughts on kind of social media and that? You're just not arsed with it at all, are you? You're just not, because you've got like over 10,000 followers on your
11.4 to be exact.
For someone that
doesn't care, I know how many I've got.
That's to the T. 11,425 followers, which is pretty good, to be fair. It's pretty impressive. But you don't really I've said to you a lot. Like, you could probably push that so much more, but you just.
I don't take. I mean, my social media is. I mean, if someone was trying to take it seriously or promote themselves properly, it's atrocious. I don't really do anything. I don't know.
Every now and then I'll see Rachel make a post for you, and I just know it's not you.
Yeah, poor Rachel is, any post that goes up that's even remotely half good is done by Rachel.
Yeah, shout out to Rachel, to be fair, because it must be hard putting up, see, with your lifestyle as well.
Putting up with you.
Putting up with you, but your lifestyle in general, like see, to be somebody's wife, like how do you find she copes with it? Like, is she amazing for you?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I feel terrible for her.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for her.
She had the wedding of her dreams, 2 people there.
I'm the priest.
I was there. Zoom called in. It's online.
No, I mean, it's not. Yeah, I mean, I feel terrible for her. The poor thing. Like, I train 16 times a week. And
she does jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah. Rachel does jiu-jitsu a lot. Like, obviously, it's not as, it's like a real, maybe a hobby's not a strong enough word, but it's like a real hobby to her, and she coaches too at the D unit in Dumbarton. So she takes it very seriously, but she's no aspirations to like be a professional athlete or anything like that. And I also feel like I probably ruined jiu-jitsu for her a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But then I take it too far. But no, yeah, I mean, she's amazing. She literally, I'm literally training 3 times a day every day, and then every minute of the day that's outside of that, I'm either working or eating or watching jiu-jitsu or researching or looking up and learning. And then, I think the entire time I've known her, we've been away in one holiday, because I can't go on holidays because I'm not wanting to take time off. Everything revolves around grappling. And then even, she's moving to America.
I was going to say
yeah.
the sacrifice, not like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's obviously probably got her own dreams and aspirations to have someone
Yeah.
that's stuck by you. That is amazing.
And she genuinely, like, she travels around. Well, she's a scientist.
Jesus.
She's a scientist, and she
unreal.
quit her job.
She's studying Mark.
I was
With
going to say.
Actually, she's a psyop. She's not actually. Yeah, she's a psyop. She's studying me. No, she quit her job to like come to America for 4 months with me, and then she's obviously working just now, but again, she would have to give that all back up to move to America. And, neither of us actually want to. I don't actually want to move to Texas. If I had it my way, I wouldn't go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I don't want, but we need to go.
Yeah.
I love Glasgow. I want to stay here forever. But unfortunately, to achieve what I want to achieve, I feel like I need to be there. And I think the problem is that if I stay here and I didn't achieve what I want to achieve, I think there's always going to be like that asterisk of like if I just done that. And at least if I go and it doesn't work out, I'm like, well, it just wasn't to be because I done everything I possibly could. But, she's moving over there. She wants to stay in Glasgow, so she's given that up. I think the thing is that I sacrifice so much, and I give up so much, but also like that's my choice to do that. I'm choosing to do that. That's my prerogative. She has to give up so much, and it's not her choice that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So again, it's I feel bad for her because it's very selfish.
Yeah.
But I hope that can win ADCC, can retire, and then I'll pay her back. And then I'll
What
pay
are you
her
going to do
back.
when you retire?
That's
But
what my next question was going to be. Your
Pay her
retirement
back.
plan. It has to be
have a
done.
family.
have a family, yeah.
probably.
Is that something that you're definitely interested in?
What is
For
that?
sure.
Yeah.
What is the age range for someone like yourself to retire? I don't know what the
So honestly, in grappling at heavyweight, and I'm 31. Your prime's probably between 35 and 40.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I've got a decade in front of me. I hope I don't need to wait a decade to win ADCC.
Yeah.
But I think I've got a decade.
So is it win that and then what's the script with that?
Yeah,
or?
it depends. I mean, because we've got ADCC in September, so if I win it in September, I'm not going to retire.
Yeah.
But if we move to America and let's just say maybe 3 cycles have passed, so maybe 5 years have passed, and then I win it, then I would probably look at
Of course.
And how are you feeling going into this the trials? ADCC this time. Are you caught much more confident?
Much
Levels
different.
Went above and beyond.
Yeah, much different, especially because in the lead up to that, I'll be over in Texas training with all those guys and lead up to it, and I've obviously been there before, and definitely a lot different this time. I feel like last time it did feel a little bit like what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah,
like I'm just someone from Glasgow, and no one from Scotland's ever won the trials before. It was only me. I'm kind of like I'm sitting in this room, and you've got the literal who's who of grapplers, and you've got the greatest grapplers of all time all walking around, and they're so famous, and I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing here? I need to leave.
it's funny because you've not even done jiu-jitsu that long.
No.
Considering where you're at.
I was going to say to be in the fucking.
No, I
first
won trials within, I think 4 years. I'd won trials.
That's crazy. And some people, it's like 10, 15 years into their jiu-jitsu where they're getting to that kind of level. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think the majority of people would spend their entire life and not.
Yeah, and so just wanting to get it up your bra. So Gav, his brother started jiu-jitsu, but then Mark came along. Gav started getting called Mark's brother.
Oh, the old blue belt himself.
Get up, Gav.
Poor Gavin.
I know. So.
Yeah. Have you anything to plug for yourself? Obviously, you got that. If you get but the gyms you train out in Glasgow, what gyms do you train out there?
So I train at Marco Sardini Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I train at Likens Martial Arts, and so Marcos's is in Glasgow, Likens is in Kilmarnock. That's 2 gyms I train at, and then over in America, I train at Kingsway. But they're so much bigger than me that me plugging them is not going to really do anything for
Have you
them.
got any advice for somebody who wants to be elite at their sport or level? Something that you would give to them for?
I mean, I think probably first of all, don't do it.
Steaks at 1 in the morning.
Honestly, I think that probably the actual sensible answer is don't do it. And then I'd say secondly, if you're going to do it, I'd say that honestly, the majority of people aren't actually willing to do what it takes. Even the best people in the world. I've been around the best people in the world, and I've literally training with the best people in the world, and you see that, and the majority of people aren't actually willing to do what it takes. they're there despite that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'd say if you're actually willing to do what it takes, you'd be alarmed at
What it takes.
what you can achieve.
And-
So I'd say if you're going to commit, genuinely commit and do like fully what it takes, and you'll be alarmed at how far you can go, because most people just aren't willing to do what it takes.
Yeah.
So you really will separate yourself.
So hard.
Basically
fucking
hard work.
essentially.
It's going to consume your life.
Yeah.
But it will consume every single
Aye.
aspect of your life. And the problem is that there are innocent bystanders, like I said, like, you know, like poor Rachel, like my brother, she genuinely is an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, I don't want to make it seem as if she has an absolutely atrocious life and she's miserable. She's very happy.
We'll cut
Are you
that
sure?
out. Cut that out.
We'll need to get a wee social check on Rachel after this, make sure she's all right.
No, she's
Blink twice if you're fucking.
she's very happy, and we have a fantastic, you know, relationship. But you know, and you know, she's absolutely amazing, and she never, ever, ever complains, ever. But it's a lot to take in.
Cool.
Yeah,
It's
of
a lot
course,
to
mate,
take
of
in. You
course.
know, it's a lot, because every sacrifice I have to make, she has to make, and she's not even getting any benefit of it.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
I'm the one that wants to go in ADCC. She doesn't care about ADCC. You know.
She gets to see you happy, I suppose. That's
Yeah.
why you're with somebody. isn't
Yeah,
it?
so you know that is the thing. You know, when you do it, you know there are going to be, and it's people, and even like, you know, I don't get to see my mum and dad or Gavin and Laura or my friends. You know, I don't get to see people as often as you like to see them, because then where am I
Me?
going to see them? Well, I try to stay away from you, to be fair.
That's the like it's
I've been trying. I've been
The
trying.
only way
So,
I've got to see him is to get him on the podcast today.
I've been trying for the last 5 years
To stay away
to stay
from
away
me.
from you, and he just keeps coming back.
So is that what I've got to look forward to? I'm gonna let you a bit in.
Still to come for you, son. Still to come
Well,
for you.
obviously you don't do any much with your socials now, but if you want to plug your socials,
It's just my name, just Mark Macqueen.
it's Mark Macqueen.
Mark Macqueen.
Aye, there we
Simple
go.
as it is.
He's
You
a
wanna
simple
take
man.
us out?
Aye, well that was another episode of the Two Diddies with a man Mark himself. Keep posted for any other episodes coming up. Ross, anything to say?
No, just thank you very much for
There we
coming
go,
on.
that's
Mate. Very
a pleasure.
surreal moment for
I
me,
know.
mate. Probably not for you, because you've been in plenty of podcasts, but to think just being the two wee guys to sitting here now, it's mad.
I always remember us like when we were growing up, walking home and thinking, you know, when do you think
We'll grow up.
we'll do this or do that, or what do you think that'll be like? Aye.
I know,
when
now
shit.
we're here.
He's on the pod.
Now he's an elite athlete and
know.
I'm some diddy.
Well,
Apart from
pleasure.
that, thank you very
Bye,
much
bye.
for that, mate.
Thank you.
Bang
Brilliant,
on.
mate. Cheers.